The text came while I was under my truck, grease coating my knuckles like war paint. I need some space, Aaron. Space. Right. Like the Grand Canyon between her promises and her lies. I wiped my hands on an old rag and checked my phone again. Sure enough, there it was. A selfie of my wife Kayla at Murphy's bar, pressed against some guy in a cheap suit. The timestamp read 30 minutes ago. Well, I'll be damned, I muttered, sliding out from under the Ford. 20 years of marriage, and this is how it ends? With a text message and a photo that screamed, "Look what I'm doing behind your back"? My name's Aaron Taylor. I'm 38, work at Midwest Auto Manufacturing, and until today, I thought I knew my wife. Turns out, I knew Jack. I walked into our house, my house technically since I inherited it from Mom, and looked around. Everything neat and tidy, just how Kayla liked it. The irony wasn't lost on me. She kept our home spotless while making a mess of our marriage. My phone buzzed. Another text. We need to talk. I typed back, "Looks like you're busy talking to someone else." The response came fast. "Don't be dramatic." Dramatic? Lady, you haven't seen dramatic yet. I grabbed a beer from the fridge and sat in my recliner, the one piece of furniture Kayla never managed to replace with her designer nonsense. My neighbor Gordon's face appeared at the kitchen window, pressed against the glass like a curious goldfish. "Aaron!" he called through the window. "You okay over there?" Saw Kayla leave in a hurry. Gordon Martinez was 55, retired, and had made neighborhood surveillance his full-time job. Usually, I found him annoying. Today, he might prove useful. I opened the back door. "She's having a midlife crisis, Gordon." "Nothing to worry about." "That's so." He scratched his gray beard. "Because I saw her loading suitcases into that Honda 2 hours ago. Looked pretty permanent to me." 2 hours ago. While I was at work, busting my ass to pay for the life she apparently didn't want anymore. "Thanks for the heads up," I said, closing the door before he could ask more questions. I called the bank. Joint checking account. $15,000. I transferred $14,998 to my personal account, leaving her exactly $2. Call it a statement. Then I updated my Facebook status to single and sat back to watch the fireworks. My phone exploded with calls. I ignored them all except one. From my daughter Judy. "Dad, what the hell?" she said without preamble. "Mom's crying, saying you froze her out of the bank account." "Your mother made her choice, sweetheart. Actions have consequences. She said she just needs time to think. She's had 20 years to think. How much more time does she need?" Judy sighed. She was 16, caught between her parents' war, and I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. "Where are you staying tonight?" I asked. "Mom got an apartment on 5th Street, the nice complex. Nice and expensive. Good thing she had a job at Morrison Insurance. She'd need it." "Dad, please don't make this harder than it has to be." "Honey, I'm not making anything hard. I'm just not making it easy anymore." After we hung up, I opened another beer and considered my options. I could play the victim, beg her to come back, pretend I didn't see that photo. Or I could do what my friend Sharon always said. "Don't get mad, Aaron. Get even." The next morning, I was replacing my truck's brake pads when Gordon came running across his yard like his pants were on fire. "Aaron! Aaron! There's a moving van at your house." I looked up from my toolbox. Sure enough, a white truck sat in my driveway, and 3 men were carrying my furniture out the front door. My furniture. From my house. "What the?" I stood up, wiping my hands. "Did you call the police? I called you first. Figured you should know your wife's stealing your stuff." I jogged toward the house, Gordon trailing behind like an excited puppy. Kayla stood on the porch, directing traffic while Mr. Cheap Suit, Tyler, I'd learned from Facebook, leaned against his BMW smirking. "Excuse me," I called out. "What exactly is happening here?" Kayla turned, her face flushed. She'd dressed up for this. New jeans, makeup, hair done, like she was putting on a show. "Aaron, I tried to call." "To tell me you were robbing me blind?" Tyler pushed off his car and walked over. He was maybe 40, soft around the middle, with the kind of fake confidence that comes from a decent paycheck and no real problems. "Nobody's robbing anybody," he said. "Kayla has a right to her belongings." "Her belongings?" I laughed. "That's my couch, my TV, my grandmother's china cabinet." "Community property," Tyler said. like he was some kind of lawyer. I looked at the movers, then back at Tyler. And you are? Tyler Morris. I'm helping Kayla transition to her new life. Transition. I rolled the word around in my mouth like a bad piece of meat. That what we're calling it? Kayla stepped between us. Aaron, please. Don't make a scene. A scene? Lady, you bring a moving van to my house with your boyfriend and I'm making a scene. One of the movers, a big guy with tattoos covering his arms, paused in the doorway. Ma'am, is there going to be a problem here? No problem, I said, pulling out my phone. Just documenting the theft of my property. It's not theft, Kayla snapped. Half of everything is mine. Then take half, not 3/4. Tyler stepped closer, trying to look intimidating. Look, buddy, why don't you just calm down and let us finish here? Buddy? I set my phone down on the porch railing, still recording. You're in my driveway, stealing my stuff, screwing my wife, and you want to call me buddy? Aaron, Kayla hissed. What? Too honest for you? Tyler's face reddened. You need to watch your mouth. Or what? You'll sue me? Take my house too? I walked over to Tyler's BMW. Pristine. Probably cost more than I made in 6 months. And ran my finger along the hood. Nice car, I said. Be a shame if something happened to it. Don't you dare. I pulled out my truck keys and held them up. What? I'm just admiring the paint job. Tyler lunged forward. I sidestepped, and he stumbled into the flower bed. The movers stopped working to watch the show. You crazy son of a... Aaron, stop! Kayla screamed. But I was just getting started. I dragged the key along Tyler's driver's side door, carving a deep scratch from headlight to taillight. Oops, I said. Butterfingers. Tyler scrambled out of the flowers, dirt on his shirt, murder in his eyes. You're going to pay for that. Send me a bill. That's when the police showed up. Officer Janet Reeves stepped out of the patrol car like she'd done this dance 1,000 times before. She was maybe 30, built like she could handle herself, with the kind of tired expression that said she'd seen every variety of human stupidity. What seems to be the problem here? She asked, surveying the scene. The moving van, the scattered furniture, Tyler's keyed car, and all of us standing around like actors who'd forgotten their lines. This maniac vandalized my car. Tyler pointed at me like I was a war criminal. Your car was parked on my property without permission, I replied calmly. I was just trying to squeeze past it. Officer Reeves looked at the scratch, then at me. That's quite a squeeze, Mr. Taylor. Aaron Taylor. This is my house. And the moving van? Kayla stepped forward, smoothing her hair. I'm Aaron's wife. We're separated, and I'm just collecting my belongings. With a court order? Silence. I see. Reeves made a note in her pad. Mr. Morris, is this your vehicle? Yes, and he deliberately... Were you given permission to park in Mr. Taylor's driveway? Tyler's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Well, no, but... Then you were trespassing, she turned to the movers. Gentlemen, I'm going to need you to put everything back until this gets sorted out legally. What? Kayla's voice cracked. But I need those things. Ma'am, without a court order or your husband's written permission, this constitutes theft. I couldn't help but smile. Officer, I'd be happy to let my wife take her personal belongings. Clothes, jewelry, that sort of thing. But the furniture stays until we get divorced. This is ridiculous, Tyler sputtered. She has rights. Yes, sir, she does. But so does her husband. Reeves closed her notepad. Mr. Morris, I suggest you move your vehicle off Mr. Taylor's property. And next time, maybe park on the street. After they left, Kayla in tears, Tyler muttering threats, the movers grumbling about wasted time. Gordon appeared at my elbow like a genie. Holy cow, Aaron, that was better than cable TV. Glad I could entertain you. You really scratched up his car good. Must have cost him 30 grand easy. I shrugged. Play with fire, get burned. What's your next move? Good question. I could let this go, file for divorce, split everything 50-50, and move on with my life. Or I could remember that photo of Kayla pressed against Tyler, the smug look on his face when he called me buddy, the way they'd tried to clean out my house while I was at work. Gordon, I said, you know everyone in this neighborhood, right? Sure do. Been here 15 years. What do you know about Tyler Morris? Gordon's eyes lit up like Christmas morning. Oh, you want the dirt? Well, he's got that real estate office on Main Street. drives a different fancy car every few months, lives in one of those new townhouses by the lake. Married? Divorced. Messy one, from what I heard at the barber shop. Ex-wife took him to the cleaners. Interesting. What else? Well, Gordon looked around conspiratorially. My cousin Eddie works at the bank. Says Tyler's always in there, talking big about his deals, but he's leveraged up to his eyeballs. All flash, no cash, if you know what I mean. I knew exactly what he meant. That evening, I drove to Murphy's bar. It was the kind of place where the beer was cold, the music was loud, and nobody asked too many questions. Sharon Doyle owned it, along with the boxing gym in the back room. She was 39, tough as nails, and had been my friend since high school. Well, look what the cat dragged in, she said when I walked up to the bar. Heard you had some excitement today. News travels fast. Honey, in this town, news travels at the speed of light. Gordon's been calling everyone he knows. She poured me a beer without being asked. So, Kayla finally showed her true colors. Apparently so. And Tyler Morris is the lucky winner? I nodded, taking a long drink. Sharon leaned across the bar, lowering her voice. Aaron, I've known you for 20 years. You're not the type to just roll over and take it. What's that supposed to mean? It means you're planning something, and before you do whatever you're thinking of doing, you should know. Tyler's been in here 3 times this week, buying drinks for everyone, bragging about his new girlfriend and how her husband's a loser who works with his hands. The beer turned bitter in my mouth. He said that? Among other things. Called you a blue-collar nobody who never deserved a woman like Kayla. I set the bottle down carefully. Did he now? Aaron. Sharon's voice carried a warning. Whatever you're thinking, be smart about it. Don't do anything stupid. Define stupid. Anything that gets you arrested or sued. I smiled. Sharon, have I ever done anything stupid? You married Kayla. Fair point. The next few days, I threw myself into Reconnaissance. Not stalking. I'm not a creep. But this was a small town, and information was easy to come by if you knew where to look. Tyler's real estate office was a joke. 2 desks, fake plants, and motivational posters about reaching for success. His secretary was a college kid who spent most of her time on Instagram. His business cards promised luxury living solutions, but his listings were mostly rundown rentals and mobile homes. His townhouse was impressive from the outside. All glass and steel, screaming, "Look how successful I am." But I noticed the lawn service truck, the cleaning lady's car, the meal delivery boxes piling up by the door. Guy was spending money faster than he could make it. Most interesting of all, I discovered Tyler was married. Not divorced, like Gordon thought, but separated. His wife Linda lived across town with their 2 kids, and from what I could gather through social media, she had no idea about Kayla. This was going to be fun. Friday night, Judy called. Dad, I need to talk to you. Sure, sweetheart. What's up? It's about Mom and Tyler. I waited. They want me to come to dinner Sunday. At his place. Like we're some kind of family. How do you feel about that? Honestly, it's weird. I mean, Mom's acting like a teenager, and Tyler keeps trying to be my friend. He asked if I wanted him to teach me to drive his BMW. And? I told him I already know how to drive. You taught me, remember? I smiled. I remember. Dad, what's going to happen to us? What do you mean? I mean, are you and Mom getting divorced? Am I going to have to choose sides? Is Tyler going to try to be my stepdad? The pain in her voice cut through my anger like a knife. This wasn't just about Kayla and me anymore. This was about our daughter, watching her family fall apart while some stranger tried to slide into her father's place. Judy, listen to me. Whatever happens between your mother and me, you're not choosing sides. You're my daughter, and I love you. That's never going to change. But what if, no what ifs. You're 16 years old, your job is to worry about school and boys and whether you're going to pass your driving test. Let me worry about everything else. After we hung up, I sat in my recliner, staring at the ceiling. Sharon was right. I was planning something. The question was, how far I was willing to go. I thought about Tyler's smug face, his blue-collar nobody comment, the way he'd tried to intimidate me in my own driveway. I thought about Kayla, putting on makeup to oversee the theft of my belongings, choosing this loser over 20 years of marriage. Then I thought about Judy, caught in the middle, being forced to play happy family with people who destroyed her real family. That's when I made my decision. Monday morning, I called in sick to work. Not entirely a lie, I was sick of being treated like a doormat. First stop, the bank. I'd left Kayla $2 in our joint account as a joke, but the joke was on me. She'd overdrawn the account by $300, sticking me with the fees. I closed it immediately and opened a new account in my name only. Second stop, the phone company. Kayla was on my family plan, racking up charges like she was planning to call every person on Earth. I canceled her line and kept Judy's. Third stop, the insurance company. Kayla worked at Morrison Insurance, but our car and house policies were through a competitor. I made some changes to our coverage, removing Kayla as a beneficiary and driver on my truck. By noon, my phone was buzzing with angry texts from my soon-to-be ex-wife. "You can't just cut off my phone. I have a right to the bank account. This is harassment." I ignored them all and drove to Tyler's office. The college kid at the front desk looked up from her phone when I walked in. "Can I help you?" "I'm looking for Tyler Morris. Is he in?" "He's showing a property right now." "Can I take a message?" "Sure." I pulled out a business card. I'd had them made at the print shop that morning. "Tell him Aaron Taylor stopped by. I'm interested in buying some real estate." The girl wrote down my information without really looking at it. Perfect. My business cards identified me as A. Taylor, Investment Properties. Not technically a lie. I was about to invest in Tyler's downfall. That afternoon, Tyler called. "Mr. Taylor? This is Tyler Morris from Morris Realty. I understand you're interested in investment properties?" "That's right. I'm looking to diversify my portfolio." I'd practiced the line until it sounded natural. "Excellent. I have several properties that might interest you. When would be a good time to meet?" "How about tonight? I'm free after 6. "Perfect. There's a great little place on Elm Street. Duplex, fully rented, excellent cash flow potential." We agreed to meet at the property. I spent the rest of the afternoon preparing. The duplex was a dump, peeling paint, sagging porch, yard full of weeds. Tyler was waiting in his BMW, engine running for the air conditioning. "Mr. Taylor." He got out with a big smile and an outstretched hand. "Great to meet you." I shook his hand, studying his face. Up close, he was even less impressive than I'd thought. Thinning hair, soft handshake, expensive clothes that couldn't hide his basic mediocrity. "Call me Aaron," I said. Something flickered in his eyes. Recognition, maybe, or confusion. But the dollar signs were bigger than his suspicions. "Aaron it is! Now, let me show you this fantastic investment opportunity." For the next hour, Tyler gave me the full sales pitch. The duplex was a diamond in the rough, with tremendous upside potential. The tenants were reliable. Translation, they paid most of the rent most of the time. And the neighborhood was up and coming. Translation, still a dump, but maybe someday it wouldn't be. "What are you asking?" I said. "Well, the owner is motivated to sell. I think we could get it for $120. I walked around the property pretending to consider it. The foundation was cracked, the roof needed work, and I could smell mold from the street. "Tyler, can I ask you something?" "Sure." "Do you really think this place is worth $120,000? His smile faltered slightly. "Well, you have to look at the potential." "I am looking at the potential. Potential for a sinkhole, potential for a lawsuit, potential for bankruptcy." I turned to face him. "This place is worth maybe $60,000, and that's if someone's feeling generous." Tyler's face reddened. "I think you're being a little harsh. Am I?" "Let me guess. You've got this listed for 6 months, no serious offers, and the owner's getting desperate. You're hoping some sucker will come along and pay full price so you can collect your commission and move on. Now wait just a minute. No, you wait." I stepped closer. "I've been in construction for 20 years. I know what things cost, and I know when someone's trying to screw me over." Tyler backed up against his car. "I think there's been a misunderstanding." "Oh, there's been a misunderstanding, all right. You think I'm some kind of fool." That's when recognition finally dawned in his eyes. "Wait a minute. Aaron Taylor. You're Kayla's husband. The blue-collar nobody who never deserved a woman like her." His mouth fell open. "Surprise," I said. Tyler fumbled for his car door handle. "Look, I don't want any trouble." "Trouble? Tyler, we haven't even started talking about trouble yet. I pulled out my phone and showed him a photo I'd taken of his BMW in my driveway the day before. Specifically, a photo of his license plate and the handicap parking sticker on his dashboard. Funny thing about handicap placards, I said. They're registered to specific people. This one belongs to Margaret Morris, age 73. Your mother, I'm guessing? Tyler's face went white. Using someone else's handicapped placard is a pretty serious offense. Fines, possible jail time, definitely something the State Real Estate Commission would be interested in hearing about. You can't prove I've got photos of you using it at the mall, the grocery store, the bank. Want to bet I can't prove it? Tyler got his car door open and slid behind the wheel. Stay away from me, you psycho. Tyler, I called as he started the engine. Give Kayla my regards. He peeled out, leaving rubber on the asphalt and me standing there with a smile on my face. Round 1 to me. But I was just getting started. The next morning, I made a few phone calls. First, to the Department of Motor Vehicles, reporting the misuse of a handicapped placard. Second, to the State Real Estate Commission, expressing concerns about an agent's business practices. Third, to Linda Morris, Tyler's wife. Mrs. Morris, my name is Aaron Taylor. I think we need to talk. We met at a coffee shop across town. Linda was attractive in a tired way, with the look of someone who'd been disappointed too many times. She brought her lawyer, smart woman. Mr. Taylor, the lawyer said, my client is curious about why you wanted this meeting, because your client deserves to know that her husband is having an affair. Linda's face didn't change. I already know about Tyler's affairs, Mr. Taylor. Why do you think we're separated? Because this time is different. This time, he's telling people he's divorced. He's moved his girlfriend into his townhouse. He's playing house with her daughter. Now Linda's expression shifted. Her daughter? I showed her photos from Judy's Instagram. Pictures of the dinner at Tyler's place, Judy looking uncomfortable while Tyler and Kayla played happy couple. He's introducing himself as her stepfather, I lied smoothly. Talking about adopting her after the divorce is final. Linda's lawyer leaned forward. Do you have proof of this? I have my daughter's testimony. I have witnesses. I have evidence that Tyler is cohabiting with another woman while still legally married to your client. The lawyer and Linda exchanged looks. What do you want, Mr. Taylor? Linda asked. I want Tyler to understand that actions have consequences, and I want you to get everything you're entitled to in the divorce. Linda smiled for the first time since I'd met her. I think we can help each other. That evening, Tyler got served with divorce papers. New ones, filed by a very expensive attorney demanding full custody of the children, maximum alimony, and half of everything Tyler owned or claimed to own. He called me 20 minutes later. You son of a bitch, what did you tell Linda? The truth. Novel concept, I know. She's trying to take my house. Your house? I thought you were divorced. That's what you told everyone at Murphy's bar. Silence. Tyler, here's some free advice. When you're living a lie, make sure you remember which version you told to whom. This isn't over. You're right, it's not. I hung up and opened a beer. Outside, Gordon was watering his garden, pretending not to eavesdrop on my phone call. Evening, Gordon, I called. Evening, Aaron. Everything okay? Everything's perfect. And it was, for now. The next week brought a parade of small victories. Tyler's real estate license was suspended pending investigation. His BMW got repossessed. Turned out he was 3 months behind on payments. And Linda's lawyer had frozen all his assets until the divorce was settled. But I wasn't satisfied. Not yet. Thursday evening, Judy called, in tears. Dad, I can't take this anymore. What happened, sweetheart? Tyler and Mom had this huge fight. She found out he's still married, and she's acting like it's my fault for not telling her. How would you know he was still married? I didn't, but she said I should have asked more questions, should have been more supportive. Then Tyler started yelling at both of us, saying we were ungrateful. My grip tightened on the phone. Where are you now? At Mom's apartment. But I want to come home, Dad. I want to come home to you. Pack your things. I'll be there in 20 minutes. Kayla's apartment was in one of those modern complexes that looked like a hotel. All glass and steel, no personality. I found her unit and knocked. She opened the door looking like hell. No makeup, hair a mess, wearing an old robe I recognized from our marriage. Aaron, what are you doing here? picking up my daughter. She called you. It wasn't a question. She's upset. She wants to come home. Kayla stepped aside to let me in. The apartment was nice but sterile. White walls, generic furniture, nothing that said anyone actually lived there. "Where's Tyler?" I asked. "Gone. We had a fight." "About his wife?" Kayla's face crumpled. "You knew. You knew he was still married, and you didn't tell me. Would you have listened?" She sank onto the couch. "Probably not." Judy appeared from the bedroom, carrying a duffel bag. Her eyes were red from crying. "Ready to go, Dad?" I put my arm around her shoulders. "Let's get out of here." "Aaron, wait." Kayla stood up. "We need to talk. About us. About what happens next. What happens next is you figure out your life and I figure out mine. And Judy stays with me until you get your head straight." "That's not fair." "Fair?" I turned to face her. "You want to talk about fair?" Fair would have been talking to me before you started screwing around. Fair would have been not trying to steal my furniture. Fair would have been not putting our daughter in the middle of your midlife crisis. Kayla's face hardened. "I made mistakes, but you're not innocent in this. You've been sabotaging Tyler, ruining his business. I didn't ruin anything. I just stopped pretending his lies were true. You're trying to destroy him." "Kayla, Tyler destroyed himself. I just helped speed up the process." We left her standing in that sterile apartment, surrounded by furniture that didn't belong to her, and dreams that were never going to come true. On the drive home, Judy was quiet until we hit our street. "Dad, are you and Mom ever going to work things out?" "Honestly? I don't think so, sweetheart." "Good." I glanced at her in surprise. "Good?" She's not the same person anymore. It's like she turned into someone I don't recognize. "And Tyler." She shuddered. "He's creepy. He kept trying to get me to call him Dad." "Over my dead body." That's what I told him. I smiled despite everything. That's my girl. But my satisfaction was short-lived. Friday morning, I got a call from my boss at the plant. "Aaron, we need to talk. Can you come in early?" I found him in his office, looking uncomfortable. Bill Henderson had been my supervisor for 10 years, and we'd always gotten along. "What's up, Bill?" "I got a call yesterday from someone claiming to be your wife's lawyer. Said you've been harassing her, making threats, interfering with her business relationships." "That's interesting, considering she doesn't have a lawyer." "So it's not true?" "Bill, my wife left me for another man. I filed for divorce." "That's not harassment. That's life." He looked relieved. "Good. Because I'd hate to have to write you up over personal problems." "Who called, exactly?" "Guy named Tyler Morris. Said he was representing your wife's interests." Tyler was impersonating a lawyer now. That was a new low, even for him. "Bill, Tyler Morris isn't a lawyer. He's a real estate agent. Or was, until his license got suspended. If he calls again, you might want to verify his credentials." "Will do." "Sorry about all this, Aaron. Divorce is hell." "Tell me about it." But Tyler's call to my boss was the last straw. He'd crossed a line, trying to mess with my job, my livelihood. Time to end this. I spent the weekend planning. Not revenge. Justice. There's a difference. Monday morning, I drove to Tyler's townhouse. His BMW was gone, but Linda's minivan was in the driveway. Through the window, I could see her and 2 kids, Tyler's kids, loading boxes. I knocked on the door. "Mrs. Morris? It's Aaron Taylor." She opened the door, looking harried but determined. "Mr. Taylor, come to see the fruits of your labor?" "Actually, I came to return something." I handed her a manila envelope. "Tyler left this at my house the day he and Kayla tried to steal my furniture." Linda opened the envelope and pulled out a stack of documents. Bank statements, loan applications, business records. Her eyes widened as she scanned them. "Where did you get these?" "They fell out of Tyler's briefcase when he was running away from me. I thought you might find them interesting." She flipped through the papers, her expression growing darker. "He's been hiding assets. These accounts, I've never seen these before. Your lawyer might want to take a look." "Oh, she definitely will." Linda looked up at me. "Why are you helping me?" "Because Tyler tried to destroy my family. Seems only fair that he loses his too." One of the kids, a boy about 10, appeared in the doorway. Mom, are we taking Dad's golf clubs? Everything, Linda said grimly. We're taking everything. I left them to their work and drove home, feeling lighter than I had in weeks. Tyler's house of cards was finally collapsing, and I hadn't even had to push that hard. But the best was yet to come. Tuesday evening, I got a text from an unknown number. We need to meet. Tonight. Murphy's Bar. Come alone. It was signed T. I almost laughed. Tyler wanted a showdown? Fine by me. Murphy's Bar was crowded for a Tuesday night. I found Tyler in a corner booth, nursing a whiskey and looking like he'd aged 10 years in the past week. Aaron. He didn't get up when I approached. Tyler. I slid into the seat across from him. You look like hell. Thanks to you. Thanks to your own choices. I just helped connect the dots. Tyler took a long drink. What do you want from me? I want you to disappear. What? Leave town. Tonight. Don't come back. Tyler laughed bitterly. Or what? You'll destroy my life? Too late. You already did that. Tyler, I didn't destroy anything. He lied to my wife, lied to your wife, lied to your business partners, lied to the state licensing board. You committed fraud, adultery, and about 6 other crimes I can think of. All I did was make sure people knew the truth. The truth. Tyler spat the word like it tasted bad. You want the truth? Your wife came to me. She was lonely, unhappy, tired of being married to a nobody who'd never amount to anything. I felt my temper flare, but kept my voice calm. And you were happy to take advantage of that. I gave her what she needed, what you never could. What was that? Lies? Empty promises? A future that was never going to happen? Tyler's face reddened. I loved her. No, you didn't. You loved the idea of taking something that belonged to someone else. You loved feeling superior to the blue-collar nobody. But you never loved Kayla. You just used her to make yourself feel important. That's not true. Then where is she now, Tyler? If you loved her so much, why isn't she here supporting you through your troubles? Tyler looked away. She's not here because she figured out what I knew from the beginning. You're a fraud. A small-time con man who got in over his head. I'm not. You're nothing, Tyler. You're a middle-aged loser who drives cars he can't afford, lives in a house that's about to be foreclosed on, and seduces other men's wives because you're too pathetic to find a woman of your own. Tyler stood up abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. You think you're so much better than me? I don't think it. I know it. Yeah? Well, let me tell you something about your precious wife. That's when I stood up too, and Tyler saw something in my face that made him step back. Careful, I said quietly. You've already lost everything. Don't lose your teeth too. Tyler looked around the bar, suddenly aware that everyone was watching us. Sharon stood behind the bar, her hand resting on something I couldn't see. Probably a baseball bat. This isn't over, Tyler said. Yes, it is. He left without another word, and I never saw him again. Word was, he moved to Florida, where his kind of small-time fraud was easier to get away with. Kayla called the next morning. Tyler's gone. I heard. He cleaned out what was left of his bank accounts and disappeared. Didn't even say goodbye. I'm sorry. Are you? Really? I thought about it. No, not really. I made a mistake, Aaron. A terrible mistake. Yes, you did. Is there any chance we could try again? I looked around my house, with my furniture, my memories, my life that I'd built with my own hands. No, Kayla, there's not. She was quiet for a long moment. What happens now? Now you figure out how to live with your choices, and I figure out how to live without you. And Judy? Judy lives with me until she's 18. Then she makes her own decisions. That's not fair. Kayla, you lost the right to talk about fair when you brought a moving van to my house. After she hung up, I sat in my recliner and opened a beer. Through the window, I could see Gordon working in his garden, probably dying to come over and get the latest gossip. My phone buzzed with a text from Judy. Heard Tyler left town. Good riddance. Love you, Dad. I smiled and typed back. Love you too, kiddo. It was over. Finally, completely over. Tyler was gone. Kayla was alone in her sterile apartment, and I was home, where I belonged. I'd won. But more importantly, I'd learned something about myself in the process. I was nobody's victim. Not anymore, 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 not anymore.